Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be working on doing the body work on this kangaroo cabinet that I'm turning into a Arabian. I'm hoping it's not going to be very involved. I want to get it on its one side so we can sand down that bottom. It's a little bit swollen on probably the last 6 inches of it. This is actually part 3. I did a really quick part 2, just showing me cleaning the monitor with some simple green, paintbrush, and a garden hose. So that cleaned up really nice. I might take the frame off and paint the frame because the frame is kind of rough looking, especially on the other side. This side doesn't look bad, but the other side is kind of like dirt stuck to it that doesn't want to come off. But if you look here, look at how nice and clean that thing came. Looks beautiful. So we might just pop the frame off and spray it real quick. And I have a new sticker to put on there as well. I'm still working on a part of this truck that's still wet underneath there, so I figured, you know what, while that bodywork is wet, let's get this thing on its side and maybe we can start grinding down the bottom of this cabinet and see what it looks like. Tomorrow I have a big long day, probably going to be gone for 14 hours by myself, driving to 1, 2, 3, probably 4 or 5 stops. Basically starting Northeast Ohio, working my way all the way down just into the tip of Kentucky. That'll be the 3rd stop. And then back up the west side of Ohio to pick up, and then back across and home. So it's going to be a lot of driving. Boring. I'll probably do a little bit of videoing here and there. I'm not going to show you what I'm picking up until I get home that night, tomorrow night. But maybe do a couple, maybe start and stop the video a few times as I get to certain places. Picking up 1, 2, 3, at least 3 monitors, possibly 4. The 4th one, if I do get a chance to pick it up, it's going to be free. And I'm picking up 2 arcade games. One I'm picking up arcade game because I need the cabinet. And I'm kind of interested in the game that's in it, and I'll show you why. Second cabinet I'm picking up is simply because it is extremely cheap and it's only 35 minutes farther than the farthest point I'm going. So I'm within 35 minutes of it, and I'll tell you right now, it's $80 for the cabinet, and it's for the most part complete. So, you know, I'm already making the trip. I'm already going to be within 30 minutes, 35 minutes of that cabinet for 80 bucks. Might as well pick it up, right? You know, whatever. It is what it is. So 2 cabinets, at least 3 monitors, possibly 4 monitors. We'll see what happens on the 4th one if I do get to pick up the free one or not. But let's get this on its side so we can grind down this bottom. That mud is almost dry for me to sand over there. Alright. 2 of the monitors I'm picking up are for those Tato cabinets that I am building. This cabinet's in nice shape. Those are completely rebuilt monitors with tube swaps. I'll ask him when I see him tomorrow. I don't know if he swapped tubes from TVs or not. That would be my guess. And I honestly don't remember. I think they're Wells Gardner monitors, but I honestly don't remember. Oh, I got to remember to load up those 4600 chassis. I want to take them with me and drop them off to him so he can work on them when he gets a chance. Because I never could get those things to work, and it's probably something freaking stupid. 1 or 2 of them might not have been rebuilt. I don't remember. I just know I have a bunch of parts, and I'm literally just going to load them in a box and give him a bunch of parts. And I'm sure he can figure it out. I'm sure he's done plenty of them. I don't know why my tripod's crooked, but anyways. So let me grab my mud buster. We'll grind this down right here, and we'll probably just put a little bit of Bondo down here, and then we'll just sand the rest of the cabinet down. Really, we got a couple holes right here we need to fill in, 3 there. I'll see if I have a dowel rod for those. I think I might, but let me grab the mud buster. Okay, this actually has a pretty good raised area right here. And that's taken that Mudbuster a while, and Mudbuster usually flies through this stuff. I'm gonna try this planer here, okay? We're gonna see if this maybe will get it knocked down a little bit faster. Can I get this hose to attach to this? That would be amazing, because this thing throws a lot of dust. I do have an adapter I can put on here if I need to. That might work. But it'd be really nice if I get this thing to just slide over that edge. So damn close. Come on. Yep, not gonna make it. So, I don't like using this one because it tapers down real far. But let's run this a couple times, see if it does anything. I gotta turn the vacuum on. Definitely working pretty good. I'm gonna stop and start recording again because that's obnoxiously loud and somebody's gonna complain if I keep doing that. So I'm gonna restart the camera, and I'll just do it in fast forward mode. So I used my little grinder and gave it a nice divot so that my short strand fiberglass has somewhere to go beyond the hole. And that's going to keep it from showing the hole in the future. So now I'm going to take some tape on the back side and just tape it so that the filler doesn't fall through. Okay. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of short strand fiberglass for here and here. We'll get those filled in. All right, got some short strand fiberglass here. This stuff I get at Harbor Freight for 20 bucks a quart. You can buy it by the gallon, and if you go on eBay, you can usually find it for about 80 bucks a gallon, which is equivalent to 20 a quart. But the thing is if you're not going to use a lot of it, don't waste your money on a gallon because it's just going to go hard over time, get harder over time. Doesn't mean you can't use it. What happens is if it starts getting hard on you, you can put a little fiberglass resin in there to soften it back up. But if it's basically the same price for a quart, 4 quarts or a gallon, you might as well just buy it by the quart as you need it. Push this in really good because you want this to go all the way through the hole, all the way to the inside of the cabinet. Uh-oh, my laminate on the front might come off. It might just be paint in the front. She's loose. Which that's common, happens sometimes on these. I guess they used, Artari used laminate on the fronts maybe for durability. Wipe this off real quick and we might just end up peeling that off if it's that loose. This short strand fiberglass does take a little bit longer to dry than Bondo. close my eyes so I don't get stuff in my eyes. Okay, it's solid to there. So we're gonna leave that. And we are going to grind this edge. We'll grind that down. You can see where it had water damage. And we'll blend that in with some body filler. And you'll never notice it once we're done with it. But you can see where it took on some moisture. Right along the bottom 4 inches or so. And who would have thought in the early 80s, there's a picture of me right there. Look at that. Crazy. But cabinet's in really good shape. I can't really complain. We got a couple little, that's just glue residue actually. There's really not a lot of nicks and dings in it, at least not on this side. So I gotta let that dry for a little bit. I gotta let this truck's almost ready for me to sand. I gotta eat dinner, come back out here. I wanna get this body work done on this tonight. That is a goal of mine. I don't think it's supposed to rain tonight, so I might be able to pull that truck outside and primer this if I can get this ready. But I don't wanna be working until midnight because I do have to get up early to start heading out for my journey. As you guys know, I restore a lot of things for a lot of people. And I swear to God, this world's getting shittier and shittier. It just seems like more and more people are just rude. They don't respect you. They don't respect, you know. I always go above and beyond when I do something for somebody. I always try to take it to the best level. And it's just amazing how many people just don't give a shit anymore. How they just, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, people expect way more from people than they used to back in the day. Now, when I do construction jobs and stuff like that, I don't have that issue. My customers are very good. Very, very rarely, maybe 1 to 2 a year that will be a little bit picky. But for the most part, it's been really good. Cars, arcade games, stuff like that, people are kind of dicks about shit. And I don't understand it. You know, you go above and beyond for people and they just don't care. They don't give a shit. You know, you might as well just do a half-assed job. So what I'm getting at is my shop in the next 2 years is going to be solely my own stuff. I'm going to be buying cars, fixing them and selling them, and I'm going to sell them as is. You're buying it as is. If you want to nitpick the paint job, you want to nitpick something on an arcade cabinet, then it's not for you. Somebody else will buy it. That's what I'm getting at. There's like 1 or 2 people that I do work for as far as car related and stuff and arcade related that I'm going to stick with. I'll do stuff for them, but it's getting to the point where I'm just not going to take on work from people. It's just, people are just too miserable these days. I don't understand it. I am a type of person that will, like, if somebody was doing something for me, I'll do whatever it took to make sure they're happy, you know what I mean? And they're well taken care of and stuff like that. But unfortunately, there's a lot of selfish people in this world, and I will never be a selfish person, and I'll always do the best I can for people. But, you know, it's just how you're raised, I guess. You know, my father was a Marine his whole life, and we were raised strict, and, you know, we were raised to be nice to other people and, you know, be respectful and stuff like that. And unfortunately, if he were alive today, he would not be a happy man, I'll tell you that much. He'd be pissed off at this world because of what it's turned into. But unfortunately, I can't change it, so I just need to adapt to it and protect myself from idiots out there. So, all right, I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. I won't get into any more detail than that, or who it is or anything like that. I'm not that type of person. But anyways, we're gonna get this thing, hopefully body work today and in primer, fingers crossed. There's a couple holes right here which are also kind of small. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the same method with that rather than the dowel rod. I don't really think we need the dowel rod. If they were, you know, a 1/2 inch hole, 3/4 inch hole, then yeah, it would be a different story. We'd be putting a dowel rod in it. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit. I got to work on this truck, and then this will be set up. I'll give this a good 1/2 hour to set up, and then we might use some short strand fiberglass on the front to blend that laminate into the particle board. Okay, I'm going to knock down this little bit of short strand fiberglass. Then we're going to apply some Bondo along the bottom edge of this cabinet. All right, let's get some filler mixed up for the side here, and then I ground down that edge and those two holes so that we can put a little bit of short strand fiberglass on that. As soon as I get this applied to the side here. Don't know if I'll make it in primer tonight. It's getting kind of late and I got to get up early. I'm trying, but I don't think I'm going to make it. That's all right. Sometimes my goals are a little bit bigger than I think. Now, the better you apply your filler, the less sanding you have to do. Now remember, when we sand this, we don't want to put the DA sander on the side because we'll just chip up the particle board. You saw me do it here in the corner, but that's because I had short strand fiberglass on it. All right, we get this cleaned up. Actually, I might have a little bit left here. If I do, yeah, I'll just fill in this little edge down here. There's a little bit of chipping along that bottom edge. So we'll just throw a little bit of this on there since we have it. No point in wasting it. All right. Now I'm going to get some short strand fiberglass mixed up. We'll fill in these 4 holes in that. I have to put my tape on the back side of those holes. And then we'll let this stuff dry and we'll be able to sand it. All right. Remember, push it in. Okay, now we gotta let all this stuff dry for a little bit. All right, while I'm waiting for that filler to dry, I want to pull apart this coin door. Missing 2 Phillips screws on the upper door. I'm gonna have to see if I can find these. I think so. They're just such a small such a small thread. That's tiny. Let's go look at my bolt thing here. I don't even know that my bolt thing up here even goes this small. This is probably like well, it goes down to 4 millimeters. This is definitely smaller than 4 millimeter. Now, I don't even know what the hell size this even would be. I'll have to take one to the hardware store and see, Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that, and see what they have. Worst case scenario, the top will get 3 and the bottom will get 3. I probably even have some extra coin doors I can rob too from. But I'm gonna end up sandblasting this too because it's flaking pretty bad. I'd like to keep this sticker. See if I can maybe tape that off. Sometimes when you tape them off and you peel the tape, it takes the sticker with it. So you can see here we have a bunch of flaking powder coating and there's rust behind it. And see how this is all rusty. We're just gonna hit this with the sandblaster. It'll knock it down real fast. We can retexture it and paint it. Won't be an issue. Just pull off this. With these little screws and stuff, I might as well put them in the tumbler with the other nuts and bolts that are going right now. Good thing is at least these mechanisms on the backside are in good shape. I am missing some pieces, but I should be able to piece it together with other parts that I have from leftover coin doors and stuff. You know what's funny? Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say, the one screw kind of looked like the screw that holds the coin door on, but it's longer. These will just sand down because if I sandblast them, they'll blow clean across the yard. And they're not in bad shape. I'll save this part. And then these are all ready for sandblasting. More stuff disassembled, ready to go. Okay, so this ended up being pretty sloped outwards here because it was pretty swelled up at the bottom here. So I sanded it down real far, put a coat of Bondo. Once this sets up, we'll get these sanded down, and then we'll be ready to flip it over onto this side. All right, same process again, a little bit of short strand. They must have had one serious lock bar on this cabinet. Holes in the front and holes on each side. Kangaroo must have been a real popular game to rob. Or maybe it was the last duel. What the hell? I keep missing the spot. There we go. Once this side's done, we can stand the cabinet up. There's just a little bit to do on the back and maybe a little bit on the top. Okay, I sanded that off camera real quick. I didn't realize how much this was swelled up. Other side too. Wasn't really paying attention to the T-molding groove. The T-molding groove is way offset now. It's almost to the outside edge. So I'm gonna have to fill that in with Bondo and recut the groove, and then probably spin the cabinet over and do the same thing to the other bottom. Fill it in and then recut the groove. It happens, you know, there's not really much you can do about it, but fill it in. So that's what we're gonna do. Yep, definitely not getting this in primer tonight. It is 8:30 already. And I'm not working too much longer here. So basically, the same thing as what I did with the holes in the cabinet. Really pack the Bondo in there. I don't think I mixed up enough. All right, I'm gonna go mix up some more and then finish applying this. Then I'll come back and we will get this sanded down. Okay, now we have that T-molding groove where it needs to be. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over and do the other side off camera just like I did this side. And then I'll come back, we'll stand it up and we'll see what else needs finished up. Okay, it's done. It's really important to put the T-molding on the bottom of these Atari cabinets because this is particle board and it just soaks up the moisture. So by putting that plastic T-molding on there, it definitely helps it slow that process down. Is it gonna stop it all the way? No. But it'll definitely help it. Top of this cabinet is in really good shape. Even the top back is in really good shape. Got a couple little chips right here I want to fix. And down here a little bit. Looks like somebody screwed this back in, but did a really shitty job of it. Let me grab a drill. Okay, I set those screws in a little bit farther. Just gonna roughen this up so we can put a little bit of filler. This side has a little bit of a gap, so I'm going to put a little bit of Bondo in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some Bondo in that gap on that side and fill in that chip up there. And once that sets up, I'll be back. We'll sand those couple spots down, sand down the top and a few other spots, and I think it's ready. We got to blow out the shop. It's a mess, but let's get this finished up. All right, guys, part 3 is done. It is ready for primer. So is the back door. Looking real good. Very nice cabinet, actually. Out of an Atari cabinet, this one's in pretty good shape. We'll get it in primer next, probably Sunday. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm gonna be gone all day with my trip, picking up stuff. Tomorrow night we'll do a pickup video. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow night. I don't know what time. It might not be till 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm not sure. Not sure when I'll be home. But make sure you tune in, or Sunday. Check it out. It'll be up, should be up Saturday night. Like I said, depending on what time I get home. I have an idiot on TikTok arguing with me, telling me, you can't wash arcade monitors with water, you're gonna corrode everything. Guarantee, never touched an arcade game in his life, never touched an electronic in his life. I bet you he lives in his mom's basement and he's sitting in his underwear right now on his computer. So, I like doing this. This is fun. It's like better than TV, really, arguing with these dumbasses. But, you know, it's not like you solder a bunch of components on a circuit board and you wash it all down with alcohol. It's wet. What about a car, a new car that has a fuel pump with a motor in it submerged in a tank of gasoline? How does that not corrode? Huh, weird. But anyways, I like making fun of people that do say dumb shit, have nothing better to do. But anyways, part 3 is done. We'll get it in primer on Sunday. Next week we'll have this thing painted black and in the basement. I believe I have the side art already. I forget, but I'm pretty positive I do. The only thing I got to get a hold of is this old game and see if you can reprint me that control panel overlay. Next week I want to try to sandblast stuff if the weather is good. There's quite a bit of stuff that needs sandblasted. I'm just going to go ahead and do the marquee brackets, the coin box, the coin door, the control panel, all that stuff. I'm just going to blast it all down real quick so I can just get it painted. I don't really see any dents in the coin door or anything like that, so it should be extremely quick and easy to do. Now we can just get all that stuff painted matte black as well. I don't think there's really anything else on this video, guys. Once again, any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night sometime for a pickup video. I think you'll like it. It's a good one. See you guys later.